Dear friends, today I want to address a topic many of us encounter at some point in our lives: how to handle toxic and manipulative people in our daily environment. These types of individuals can appear in any area: work, family, friendships, or even romantic relationships. Dealing with such personalities can be exhausting, both physically and emotionally, and it's essential to learn how to manage these interactions to protect our well-being and emotional stability. Before diving into strategies for managing them, we need to understand what it means to be toxic or manipulative. A toxic person is someone who, consciously or unconsciously, has a negative impact on those around them. They often drain others' energy and create an atmosphere of tension, discomfort, or stress. This can include behaviors such as constant pessimism, destructive criticism, gossip, and playing the victim. Manipulative people, on the other hand, typically have the skill to influence others to get what they want, regardless of whether their actions cause harm or distress to others. They use tactics like guilt, emotional blackmail, twisting facts, and lying to achieve their goals. It's not uncommon for a toxic person to also be manipulative, as both behaviors often coexist. Many people, at some point in life, face individuals who, in one way or another, create conflicts, tensions, and emotional strain. Commonly known as toxic or manipulative, these people have a negative impact on those around them. Learning to recognize and handle these behaviors is essential to protect our peace of mind and mental well-being. The characteristic behaviors of toxic and manipulative people can vary and may be challenging to detect initially. Some of the common signs include: these individuals frequently criticize others in a way that's focused on making them feel bad rather than being constructive. They may disguise their words as advice, but their underlying aim is to undermine the self-esteem of those who listen to them, affecting their confidence. They often take on the role of the victim in every situation, seeking sympathy or making you feel responsible for their well-being. This behavior can place a constant emotional burden on those around them, as if they always need to rescue or cater to this person's problems. They avoid taking responsibility for their actions, and when something goes wrong, they tend to blame others. This creates an environment of injustice and frustration, as they excel at shifting guilt onto others. They tend to manipulate information or distort reality to favor themselves, frequently using lies as a tool to achieve what they want. This lack of honesty makes it hard to trust them and leads to mistrust in their relationships. They make you feel guilty for situations that are not your responsibility. This tactic is common in those who seek control over others' decisions, and is especially effective with empathetic people or those highly sensitive to others' well-being. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step to protecting ourselves from their impact and preventing them from negatively affecting our lives. However, once identified, the real challenge is knowing how to handle them without allowing them to drain us emotionally or invade our personal space. Here are some strategies that can help us deal with them and build a healthy relationship based on clear boundaries and mutual respect. Handling toxic and manipulative people requires interpersonal skills and emotional resilience. One of the most effective strategies for dealing with toxic and manipulative people is to set clear boundaries and stick to them. This means deciding what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not. You don't need to be aggressive or overly justify your decisions. Simply be firm in your stance. For instance, if someone continually makes comments that make you feel uncomfortable, you can politely but firmly communicate that you'd prefer to avoid that type of interaction. Manipulative people often play with the emotions of those around them to get what they want. If you sense someone is trying to manipulate you through guilt, fear, or emotional blackmail, remember that you have control over your own emotions and reactions. Don't feel pressured to respond immediately. Take your time to think things through and respond calmly and logically. Staying calm is an effective tool to avoid falling into their emotional trap. It's essential to remember that the behavior of a toxic or manipulative person is usually not your fault. These individuals often have internal issues that lead them to act this way. Don't let their comments or attitudes affect you deeply. Maintain an objective perspective and remember that you are not responsible for their actions or emotions. If possible, reduce the time you spend with toxic people. This doesn't mean cutting off all relationships immediately, but finding ways to minimize contact. If it's a co-worker, try to interact only as necessary and focus on your tasks. If it's a family member or friend, plan short meetings and try to have control over when and how you interact with them. Toxic people often seek to provoke strong emotional reactions in others. This may include hurtful comments or disrespectful attitudes. Instead of reacting impulsively, respond calmly or even consider not responding at all. Indifference can be a powerful tool as it deprives the manipulator or toxic person of the satisfaction of seeing that their behavior affects you. Facing manipulative and toxic people alone is not easy. Seek support from friends, family, or trusted colleagues. Sharing your experiences and receiving external perspectives can help you see situations more objectively and give you the strength to face these situations with greater confidence. Dealing with toxic and manipulative people can be draining. That's why self-care is essential. Dedicate time to activities that relax and make you feel good, such as exercising, reading, meditating, or simply enjoying nature. Strengthening your emotional and physical well-being will help you face any challenges that may arise. One of the most important skills when dealing with manipulative people is knowing how to say no firmly and without guilt. Manipulative people will try to make you do what they want. But remember that you have the right to say no when something doesn't benefit you or makes you uncomfortable. Saying no is a form of personal empowerment and helps you prioritize your own needs. Sometimes, the best way to protect yourself is to distance yourself from the toxic person. This can be difficult, especially if it's a close family member or a longtime friend. However, you have the right to surround yourself with people who support and contribute positively to your life. If someone constantly undermines your self-esteem or makes you feel miserable, it may be necessary to establish definitive distance for your well-being. Handling toxic and manipulative people is challenging, but it is possible. It requires patience, strength, and determination to set boundaries, recognize your own rights, and learn not to let these people negatively influence your life. By implementing these strategies and focusing on self-care, you can protect yourself from these personalities' influence and live a healthier, more balanced life. Remember, the goal is not to change these people, as that is beyond our control, but to protect our inner peace and well-being. Toxic and manipulative people will always exist, but with the right tools, we can face them without letting them affect us.